battling it out for a spot in the 2021-2022 TIO NTFL Grand Final. Welcome to the field, the St. Mary's Football Club. Please welcome to the field, the Nightcliff Football Club. Well, this is it, the men's Nightcliff taking on St. Mary's, the great grand final rematch. We'd also like to acknowledge the NTFL sponsors and partners that make tonight happen. No More, Carlton and United Breweries, Towards Zero, Impex, Intersport, Gazale's Palmerston Club, Interact, Sterling NT, Bridge Toyota and Sharon. We'd also like to thank our media partners and broadcasters, 7 News Darwin, NT News, Mix 104.9, Hot 100 FM and Kick Digital.
Welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin. We've got the 21-22 TIO NTFL Men's Premier League Grand Final between no other than the Nightcliff Football Club and St Mary's Football Club. And very lucky here to have Clint Firth on my right here. We'll be calling the game tonight. G'day, Clint.
Hi, Colleen.
Ready for this?
Yeah, ready. Good to be here. Players are just in their huddles at either end, about to move to the middle of the ground and into their positions. So, yeah, lights are on. Lights have just come on. extremely hot day today in Darwin, cooling down a little bit now, and yeah, prelim final no tomorrow for the loser.
Yeah, absolutely. And on my other side is the infamous Damien Hale for his special comments. Yeah, Haley, we've already been chatting about these two clubs, and they're already building up some significant history, and we love seeing them go head-to-head, don't we?
Yeah, we do, and they've played the last couple of grand finals against each other, but Waratahs have thrown a spanner in the works this year and have been the first side to go through, so a big prize tonight for the side that turns up and plays and wins this game is into another grand final. So I'm expecting a pretty good one. There's a few interesting ins. Nightcliff obviously last week were beaten by a better Tars side, but certainly up forward, welcoming Trent Melville back from suspension, Johnny Butcher, Philip Wills, the experienced Philip Wills and captain of the football club, has come back into the team, and they'll be handy ins. That'll allow Kyle Emery to play that third tall role. He didn't handle the number one tall last week very well, and Tars covered him quite well. And a couple of big outs for St Mary's as well. Sean Edwards isn't playing, and Ryan Smith, the big ruckman, the evergreen ruckman's out as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Saints can cover off on those two losses. Yeah.
Well, I guess time will tell, and the umpire's just about to raise the ball to get this clash underway. Over to you, Clint.
Thanks, Colleen. Prelim final. Umpire Morrison throws it up. Toa in there for St Mary's up against the taller Bowen. Players dive on it. Tackled there by Lant. Clearance one there by Jellyman Turner. Throws it on the boot, goes inside 50. And dropping in front there, well positioned, taking the mark. The fullback for the Nightcliff Tigers, Darcy Keys. So gets called to play on. Good pressure there from Salmon. Kick comes out, 60 metres out. Bowles taps over, then provides a nice shepherd for Eilert. Eilert on the left foot. It's well smothered there, however, by Land. Land on the left foot from 25. That's a magnificent start for St Mary's. They're up and going.
Oh, yeah. Dylan Lant. Class act, Haley. That's why he's probably one of the favourites for the Nichols this year, I would think.
Yeah, I think so. And I think if Saints are going to win today, they need to really be on top in the midfield. So that's a great start. Obviously, they'll be looking for the likes of Lant, Heppel, these type of players, Paredes, to really get on top early in the middle. Without Smith there, Toa's just going to have to compete. They would have been disappointed that first 50 entry not to have a contest. Or certainly the runner would be going out to the forwards and saying, "Oh, we've got to get the ball to ground." Chaos football's good football for the St Mary's forward line.
So Dill Land, that was his smother and his goal. That's a magnificent start for St Mary's. Bowen up, he's going to win the majority tonight. Tries to follow up. He's wrapped up there by Toa and Land, and we'll get another ball up in the middle. Umpire Port throws up. Bowen again gets his hand on it. A lot of players around there, very contested footy. Shannon Rioli there gives the handball to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner from the attacking side of the square fires long at goal. Didn't miss by too much, hit it pretty well. Through for one behind. So St Mary's got the jump here. They're 1 goal, 1-7. Nightcliff yet to score. 2 minutes into this first quarter. Nightcliff out of defence to the big ruckman Bowen. Ball comes there to Philo, just taps out in front. Good handball back there to Bowles. He's going to go on his left foot. Handball's over the top. Runs on back to Bowles. Good pressure there by Yaron. Affected the kick. Ball down there to centre wing. North's first there. Good pressure there by Edwards. Picked up, spun by Klusky. Matty Green back to Callis. Callis over to Smithson. Back to Matty Green. Just ran himself almost in a little bit of trouble there, but they've done well here, St Mary's. They've managed to keep the ball and they kick it out wide. There's 4 guys standing there alone, so not sure what happened then. Yaron was going to a leading Robinson then, however, chopped off there by Nyhouse. Nyhouse shanks one forward into the middle, picked up by Philo, but the umpire says there was a throw in there. And it's going to be a free kick to Smithson. He doesn't waste any time. Goes to the outer wing, out in front of Rioli. Wins the one-on-one out there with Brown. That's a beautiful kick. And hits Calder Lace out. Calder. He takes it 45 metres out and will have a set shot kicking from about 52.
Good energy early, Clint, from the Saints Footy Club. They're certainly up and about for this one. And Interesting to see Jellyman Turner coming off that half-back flanker. He might be starting in the centre of the ground.
Yeah.
He's certainly got a couple of early touches and has been important.
Agree, mate. He was listed in the middle. That's a great kick from Calder. Straight through the middle. Hit it from the paint on the 50. And St Mary's get their second. They move to 2 goals, 1-13. Nightcliff yet to score, and we've almost gone 4 minutes in this first quarter.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of uncontested footy there, Hayley. So really, Nightcliff have just got to bridge that gap there. St Mary's have got a lot of room out there. A lot of uncontested, as I've said. Actually looks quite easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, the Nightcliff blokes all sort of ran forward of that last football, and when the turnover happened in the turnover zone at centre half back, there was 4 St Mary's players that had sort of probably cheated a little bit, but they were out on their own.
So ball back in the middle. I just noticed Paredes on Islet in there. What a match up that is. Ball spills there to Islet. Throws it on the right boot. Down the half forward. Wilson's there. Crushing over the tops. Melville. Ball comes to the front. There's Paredes. Spins round. Gets it on his boot, but it's only as far as his direct opposition. And there on centre wing, the mark there taken by Islet. Islet's going to drill it inside 50 for the first time for Nightcliff. 1 forward entry, 1 contested mark, and there is Big Johnny Butcher, the ex-Port Adelaide player who missed last week through suspension, I believe.
No, he was unavailable.
Sorry, he had a hamstring.
Nick Trent Melville actually.
That's
through
right.
suspension.
Yep,
but it'd be a simple game plan for the Tigers. You would have thought, get the ball in deep to the likes of Butcher and Melville and Emery, and the little fellas get underneath them and crumb. That's a good goal. That's
a beautiful kick. And you can just see the size of the opposition. He's playing on Zach Robinson there. He looks noticeably smaller. So I think you're right, Hayley. I think they're going to try and use that big body size. And St Mary's a little bit undersized in the tall man department. As you said, Ryan Smith...
not playing, but Johnny Butcher's last quarter of the grand final was, something that folklore's made out of. He took the game by the scruff of the neck, and if Nightcliff are going to progress, Johnny Butcher needs to have a good game. He needs to kick 5 or 6, and I think if he kicks 5 or 6, they'll be right in the hunt at the end of this one.
Yeah, I agree.
So Nightcliff have just settled there. St Mary's all running over the top of them in the first 5 minutes of that quarter, so good for Nightcliff to get one back on the board. Ball taken there by North. Not sure he got a hand on that handball. Comes out to Philo on that beautiful left foot. He hits up Melville in front of Gallus. Melville doesn't waste any time. He swings around. He goes deep. It's Wilson goes up there, gets his hand on it. His first to recover, and Wilson off the ground from the square. Nightcliff have gone bang, bang, and they're 2 goals straight, 12. St Mary's 2 goals, 1-13.
If you're going to go to war, you go straight to the castle, don't you? And that's where Nightcliff are best to start the fight right at the goal face there and get it into Johnny Butcher. Like if he doesn't mark it, it goes to ground, and Shawnee Wilson comes in and finishes it off. So obviously Liam Fitzholtz had a run in the Div 1 today, so he's not out there, a Cheney medalist. So there's a few issues there, I'd imagine, but this footy side doesn't rely on one player, that's for sure.
No, they don't.
So Ryan Moo will probably get the best small defender there, so it hasn't affected them slightly in terms of Moo's going to get a harder opposition player. Clearance one there by Nightcliff. Ball spills out wide, off the ground there by Edwards. Ball spills down there, picked up by Emery. He spins around on the left foot, out of nothing. Just too skinny and goes out of bounds in the full at the Michael Long centre end of the ground. And it's going to be brought back in by the St Mary's Footy Club.
Of course, the other strength they've got there is they rest Cam Islet down there. He plays very much that dusty Martin role, doesn't he? He has a break, goes down there, kicks a couple of goals, and he's very handy forward.
Yeah, and he's still handy around the stoppages, isn't he, Cam? He'll still go into the middle and get a clearance if you need it. And it's just getting better with age. Good bottle of port.
So a couple of their big guns there. Nyhouse to Wilson. He hits a beautiful kick inside 50. Big Butcher was on the lead there, his big frame in front. Umpires plucked one. Did you guys see that one? I thought maybe in the back.
Yeah, a bit of a push, I think, there. And once again, just that perceived, or just actually the presence of Johnny Butcher and will force players to be a little bit jittery. And one of the things that I noticed when Waratahs and Saints last time, when those two sides played was how nervous the back line of Saints is, and they don't sort of take the initiative like they used to. But when you lose players like Iggy Villaggio and Johnny Anstess and Jack Long and Benny Rioli and those guys over the last couple of years, they're certainly in a rebuild of their back six, and it was a real strength for a long time.
I don't mind their rebuild though. They've got some real talent coming through there, Halsey.
So Matty Green with a beautiful kick out there to the outer side. The mark taken under the scoreboard by Labastida. Labastida chips one forward. Lance run on. He's got time to turn around. Looks up. He's going to go long down there to Robinson. It's a one-on-one. Robinson and Bowes. Bowes gets a fist in there. And out in front of the St Mary's clubhouse over there, we're going to get a boundary throw in.
I think that's an important matchup about Saints being, aware of Daniel Bowles' run off half-back for Nightcliff, and the half-forwards need to be able to work hard and try to nullify the rebounding of Daniel Bowles. He's been an exceptional player for Nightcliff for a number of seasons now.
See Robinson out there. He's flies up, I think, from Vic Country. He was on my flight the other day, and he's a tall boy. He's been pretty handy pickup for Saints in the second half of the season.
Yeah, he certainly has, and the problem there is Glenfold can't play because of the fly-in rules, and they've got Heppel as the other fly-in, as well as who's the other one they've got?
Smithson?
Yes, it might be Smithson.
Yep.
So,
and he can play.
Yeah, so, they have the three already. So they needed to get Glenfold here before December 31st, and they didn't. And so now he's sitting out.
So St Mary's have worked this forward, went long the quarter there. Got it getting a fist in there was Darcy Keast. And we're going to get a boundary throw in the pocket. Going up there, Calder, shark there by Land. Ball comes there. I think that's Yaron off the ground. He likes it. That's a couple of soccer goals we've seen early in this game. And St Mary's against the run of play in the last 3 or 4 minutes have got their third. They moved to 3 goals, 1-19. Nightcliff, 2 goals, 1-13.
I think any time they get the ball to space in their forward 50, they're always going to be dangerous. And Joey Salmon hasn't got into the game yet. He had a fantastic game, I thought, last week. And looking at that forward line, the structure's right for just chaos footy. Get it in there, compete. Calder will always compete in the air and rarely gets outmarked. And then you've got Yaron and Shannon Rioli when he's down there, as well as Joseph Salmon working under him.
It's a ball back in the middle there. Dirksen versus Braxton Armat. Ball comes there to Philo. He throws on the right boot. Butcher's there. It looks like they've thrown Matty Green there to Butcher perhaps. Shark there by Moo. He goes down the corner on the right boot. Gallus there with Melville. He gets the handball back there to Wilson. Good pressure there by Heppel. Comes out the back there to Melville. Ducks his head. Umpire said play on. Armat gets a little hand in there. Ball spills there. Nice work there by Klusky. Just laid a body in there and allowed St Mary's to get a kick there. He goes to the middle. Bowles was there, landed on his head, and Robinson came over the top. Umpire said that's a free kick. So Bowles on that beautiful left foot. He goes long inside 50. Well sharked there, front and square there by Moo. Just couldn't, it was almost running too quick, couldn't get enough on the kick. And it was...
He had the pistons pumping then, didn't he?
He did. He almost, he was almost running too fast. So Mark taken in the back there by Parnell. Parnell's managed to get it back here. He's running with a couple of bounces down to centre wing. Handball over the top. Fortuitously lands with the Saints. He goes to Calder. Well done by Jones there. He got in front, then that extra support. And he's going to drive one back to a one-on-one on centre wing. Robinson gets a hand in there. Wills versus Land. Umpire said holding the ball. Incorrect disposal.
Yeah, very effective tackle there. And Nightcliff certainly needed it, Clint.
Yeah, they're under the pump at the moment, so it's a bit of an arm wrestle there. Playing, so good to see the captain back this week. Well, you're not sure why he missed last week? Anyone on that?
No, I'm not sure, but it's always good to have him back in the footy team. He just gives those 1%ers. He gives his all every week for the club, and he's certainly an important player to have out there.
So ball up on the outer wing. Umpire's plucked one here, and it's going to be a free kick there to Big Bowen. Expect Bowen to be prominent tonight. He's got a lot of size and
it's a certain goal now.
Protected area or not standing on the mark, I'm presuming.
Watch Brody Philo try to cruise past here for a little cheeky handball. I think the Saints boys will be onto it. Might be well within Bowen's reach here to be able to kick this goal. And that tackle becomes, if he kicks the goal now, that tackle just becomes more and more important, and that's the sort of pressure acts that Nightcliff will need to do to put Saints under that sort of pressure, and they get the reward.
So he's a big boy, Bowen. The ruckman not necessarily renowned for their shots at goal, but doesn't bother the big fella, straight through the middle.
He'll love that.
Yeah.
He'll just have the heart will be pumping in his chest at the moment. Big Bowen.
I did call it because he actually has got for a ruck.
He's got a nice kick.
He's got a nice kick.
It's great to see him back. He did his knee here last year, and he worked his backside off to get back up here and play. He's a lovely guy, and he's a real asset to the Nightcliff Footy Club.
You look at that technique, that's not a ruckman. He's kicked that beautifully.
That's right.
So he was emergency for the rep game, so he's obviously played some really good footy throughout the year, and he's going to be prominent tonight. He's got a lot of size advantage over there. So Braxton Armat in there in the middle against him. Bowen wins it. Down there to Eilert. Eilert couldn't grab. Paredes has been quite quiet so far. Eilert's run back to lend a hand. He goes wide there to Wills. Wills and Paredes go at it. Shark there by Paredes, just doesn't pick up, then goes to ground. Gives the handball back there to McMurtry. McMurtry to Robinson. He gives it back to Land, and Land sends it inside 50. It's a 3-on-2. Ball goes to the back there. Umpire Port had beautiful position there, and he's plucked one there.
Just looking at Paredes, seems to have some sort of strapping on his left leg, and he's not moving freely at all. And I didn't notice that at the start of the game, whether or not he's copped a knock or he's got something wrong with him. But he's certainly not moving as freely as he'd like to be.
It's a ball there taken by Joel Butterick in the middle. Big Bowen gets manoeuvred off the ball. Handball comes out there to Smithson for St Mary's. Good pressure there, affected the kick. Goes inside 50. Picked up there by Klusky. Good tackle there by Bowles. Umpire Noonan says holding the ball. So Bowles from defensive 50 goes forward. Emery tried to use his body there. Comes out wide to Jellyman Turner. He gives the handball back there to Toa. Didn't hit him. Toa could feel Emery behind him, and we're going to get a boundary throw in directly on centre wing on this near side.
You know, I always recognise Jellyman Turner. He's always has a jumper tucked in. And not many players do, but that's how I recognise him.
My grandfather used to say, at least look like a footballer, even if you can't play.
My father.
Well, he can do both. So.
Yeah. Ball comes back there to Butterick. Butterick to his brother there. Can't gather, thrown on the boot by St Mary's. That's high. Oh, going at it hard there was Joel Butterick. Ball comes there to Harper. Back to Bowles. He sort of went with one hand. Harper wins that hard ball in there. Really well done. Gives the handball back there. Comes to Emery. He's almost mounted there by Edwards.
Pulled that soon, didn't he?
He did. The crowd screamed ball.
Probably could have just kept going, I'd say.
So Bowen, well done there by Toa, put his big body in there, then goes back at ground level. Paredes gets a little handball back. St Mary's go to half forward. Bowles rest red at the best. He swings back onto that left foot. Doesn't see anything forward, so just tries to get as much distance as possible.
Good result there for Nightcliff, I think, just to get that ball out of the area. And the few boys with hands on hips and that, I think the game started a fair bit of pace, and be interesting to see who's been doing the most training. We probably know by halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah, it's a good game of footy so far. So Bowen, Toa go at it. Ball comes out of Long. Long's been quiet in the last few weeks, so he's one that's really got to get into it. Goes inside 50. Picked up there by the Nightcliff player. Handball's there to Butterick. There was no prior opportunity there. Umpire Morrison agrees, and we'll get a boundary throw up on the 50.
Nice strong tackle there from young Salmon.
So Toa wins that one. Comes down there to Harper. Tried to take one on. Oh, he was lucky, but he caught one high, so that might have saved him.
I think he's saying legging, isn't he?
Yeah, it might have been legging because the ball was actually raked out. I thought it might have been a low tackle.
All right, so Harper down the wing. Over the top there, comes out to North. He's on his favoured left foot. It's a one-on-one forward, and that's what Nightcliff want. Butcher and Matty Green. Well done there by Matty Green. He's first back there at a cover, gets wrapped up by Butcher. Geez, he's given away some height and size to Butcher, so he's in for a long day. Matty Green comes to Wilson. He gives to North. North on that left foot around, only as far as Green. He's got Tower on the 50. Didn't really go to him, sort of meant more to the boundary line, and it only goes as far as Melville. So Nightcliff are going to send this back in here, right to the hot spot. Players go up. St Mary's bring it down, just hacked out of there. However, it was smothered. Gallus is going to be first one there to it. Big Butcher's there with him. Here's Danny Butcher, gives the handball to his brother John Butcher, and John Butcher from the pocket around the corner. The kick smothered. And we'll have a boundary throw in 30 metres around from the Nightcliff goal.
There's plenty of desperate acts going on and great attack on the footy from both sides at the moment, Clint. And Cole, it's a good hard game of football.
There's some close matchups, and that's what we want to see, don't we? We want to see them going one-on-one and testing each other. Interesting game.
Ball goes in over the back, picked up there by Smithson. Butterick dispossesses him. Handball there to North. I reckon it went straight into Klusky's head. Tapped there by Harper. Really well done. Down to Butterick. Butterick goes around the corner. Holner gets his fish there. Islet's lurking. He gives the handball to North. North's always going to swing on that beautiful left foot. Goes to the hot spot. It's a 2-on-2 there. Wilson gets a fair piece of it. Front and square there is Butcher. The players go in there, and Matty Green's dispossessed. That was well done. Melville around the corner. Oh,
second poster.
Second poster was coming back, just not enough.
They're under siege at the moment in the Saints' back half, but they're standing up to it, very desperate, throwing themselves at the ball.
I agree with that, Haley. So it's a big task there for Matty Green. Matty Green from Tennant Creek. Was highly touted from the NT 2 or 3 years ago to get drafted. And I believe Collingwood, Big Ed Maguire, was going to fly the troops to Tennant Creek to have a chat with him. So I believe there was a lot of AFL clubs interested in him, and he's got a big job there. St Mary's are going coast to coast here. Robinson from 25 hits it well, running at full tilt, and they've gone from one end to the other. And almost against the run of play there, go inside 50, and St Mary's have kicked their 4.
There, Robinson just got away from Daniel Bowles there in enough room, and that was well done. He took the game on. But, full credit to the back six of Saints then. They were under siege, and, they really did stand up, and there was some really desperate bits of play from them, from Green and the guys that are back there. And, Parnell will rally those guys and keep them focused. But that was their goal, and without their sort of effort, that wouldn't have happened for Saints.
Just a shot there. The cameraman just caught Shannon Rioli on the sideline. He's pretty spent at the moment, the 200 gamer plus, and good to see him still playing. He's a very smart footballer, is Shane Rioli.
He could become career. He's probably not as fit as what he used to be, Colleen, like you say, but his footy smarts, in a close game like this, could be a couple of key touches in the final quarter that will become crucial. So ball back in the middle, players fighting over it. Ball there to Harper. Paredes ducks down, does well, wins that clearance, goes forward to Robinson. He started really well, gives it to Jelliman Turner on the outside of the boot. Clean bowls Calder. Not going to be a bad result here, and the ball goes out of bounds in the forward pocket, and St Mary's can set up around this and lock it in their forward line.
Yeah, I think Nightcliff just need to probably tighten up a little bit there, and especially on Robinson. I think you can't underestimate his impact on the game, and I think they probably need to just be a little bit, arm across, touch and feel a bit more at the back line for Nightcliff.
Haley, I've got a question for you. I'll just wait for this.
Don't make it too hard, Cole.
It's not too hard. It's just
comes out there. Umpire let it go for a while. Nyhouse throws it on the boot. Oh, yeah, they've been playing these.
Oh, yeah.
And umpire Morrison runs in, gives the insufficient intent signal. And it's going to be a free kick there to Jacob Long. And the man on the mark's probably about 49 metres out directly on the boundary. So it's going to be a massive kick from here. Calder comes up and leads. He looks like he's going for home here, Long.
He's got a good leg on him.
Oh, he has hit that nicely just to the near side. Through for one behind. St Mary's 4 goals, 2-26. Leading Nightcliff 3 goals, 2-20. We've gone 22, almost 23 minutes in this first quarter.
You're just on Calder there, Haley. If he gets that space in front, you know that he'll take that 99% of the time.
Yep.
again, there you see he's one out. What do they do about that? If you leave the space in front of him, he's just going to kick goals all day.
Yeah, well, it's probably a bit of a team effort, isn't it? You need to, maybe have your other defenders on the inside of their man help so that they can try to chop that space off.
Yeah.
And I think we've already seen Nyhouse a couple of times drift into that area to nullify Calder's influence. So, yeah, it's about just sort of working on the inside of your man. You should be there on your starting points are important.
So ball there to the half-forward line of Nightcliff. Picked up there by Emery. Gives the handball over the top. I think that's Butterick. He runs to 40. Goes inboard. I'm not sure if it was a shot or a pass. Butcher doesn't know either.
He was having 50 each way, I reckon, there. He sort of... He probably should have just kicked the goal.
He actually couldn't make his mind up, I think. And Butcher let him know he's not entirely happy with that decision.
So St Mary's out of defence there. Matty Green's found himself some space. They work it to the 40, and there's Paredes, some hard gut running. He's got himself free on the outer wing. Doesn't have too much to go forward, so goes inboard and hits up Kluski. So Kluski kicked 3 last week, I think, in a row, and was pivotal in their win over Wanderers, even though it was a fair win. So he can play. He's part of that midfield group with Paredes. So had a quiet start, but he'll work himself into the game. Ball comes there to Cook. Umpire Port in the previous contest has picked one up for holding the ball. St Mary's, a couple of St Mary's guys down there.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of friendly fire, I think. There's 2 down.
Just got a replay of that here. Going to matter there. Not sure who that is.
Yeah,
maybe
Joseph Salmon, I think it is.
Oh, is it Salmon? So he looks hurt down there. The trainers are going to go to him as the siren rings there for quarter time.
All right, so we've got a game on here with Nightcliff Football Club on 3-3-21, trailing St Mary's 4-2-26. We'll be back with the second quarter shortly.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better, and I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the Territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians. Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today at Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Welcome back to TIO Stadium for the second quarter of the Men's Premier League preliminary final between Nightcliff and St Mary's, and we've absolutely got a game on our hands. So far for Nightcliff, we've got three goal kickers in Johnny Butcher. He's definitely welcome back to the side. Jackson Bowen and Shawnee Wilson's popped up with a goal. For the St Mary's, we've got Dylan Lant, got the first goal. Nicky Yaron, Jackson Calder, the leading goal kicker in the competition, and Zachary Robinson. He had a beautiful goal. He took it into the 50 and kicked truly. Just an absolute ripper of a contest, Haley, and probably see a little bit more this quarter.
Yeah, it certainly is, Cole. A good hard-fought final.
So no love lost between these two sides, and no tomorrow for the loser. Ball back in the middle, start of this second quarter. Ball comes there to Eilert. He goes forward. Two half forward. Nice tap on there by the Nightcliff player. Got there to Wilson. Ball comes there to Emery. Couldn't pick up. Thrown on the boot by the Nightcliff player. Ball goes forward. Big Butcher's there. He's got North at his feet. Spins around. Gives it back to Butcher. Butcher on the right foot. Geez, that was good work there by Nightcliff.
Well, he hardly had it, did he? It's just gone straight from hand to foot so quickly there for a big fella. It just shows the agility of Butcher and his skill level. Really good finish there under pressure.
How good is that for a big man? I know they practice that at the highest level, getting the ball from hand to foot quickly, and that's one of the quickest I've seen, particularly from a guy his size. So that's a great goal.
Yeah, he had no right to kick that, really. No. And probably more bracing himself for a hit and handballing off, but he knows where the goals are, John Butcher.
So that's his second, and that's exactly how St Mary's started the first quarter. A goal within the first minute. Ball taken there by Smithson. Comes to move, throws it on the right boot. Only as far as Heppel, the brother of Dyson Heppel from Essendon.
Go the Bombers.
He comes wide.
He looks like him too. He looks like Dyson.
And goes out there to Land on his left foot. Down the line to Yaron. Yaron's one of their stars. He's been fairly quiet early. Goes back. He was taken out after that kick. Butterick got into him, but looks like Butterick's with Yaron, so that's respect to Yaron. He's going to follow him every step of the way today, as we see some lightning in the background there. And St Mary's on the halfback flank. Ball comes there to Holner.
There's actually a forecast for a bit of a storm to come through, so you probably want to be in front if that happens. Once we get past half-time, it'll be the side that's in front, won't it, if it's called off because of lightning. So it's important to be in front at half-time.
Goes down there to Calder. Great mark. So Calder from the Mornington Peninsula. Him and Paredes are the two guns for St Mary's. He's decided to stay up here for the dry season. He's not going to go back and play the season with Mornington. He likes it up here. He's the leading goal kicker of the competition, and he was in the Mornington competition as well. So he's a gun. Him and Paredes, they're the ones that need a fire for St Mary's. They do it week in, week out.
That's right. Calder staying up, is he?
Yeah, he's staying up for the dry season, I read. So
I reckon Nick O'Reilly will probably think he can get him filling in for his mixed netball side on a Monday night then. But he's been pushing for that for a while.
I think Nico's gone.
He's gone,
well.
yeah. He's probably listening to us, Nico Riley.
Nico, good man.
He is a good man.
I reckon he'd go right at Rick's netball as well.
He has been in high demand down there at the Winnelli indoor courts, I think they are.
I played mixed netball once and they gave me the FW bib. I don't know what they were trying to suggest.
Special comments from Damien Hales. We've got a contest out on the wing here. Players fighting over it. Lovely call, Haley. Ball goes out of bounds. Have a boundary throw in. He's got a beautiful throw in this umpire from memory. Rocks forward. Beautiful leverage. Launches in. That's Toa and Bowen. Toa does well there just to nullify the contest. Comes down to North. He's probably been the best player on the ground so far. Goes in the middle there to Edwards. He gets on his bike. Jellyman Turner's right there with him. Wilson committed to it. That allowed Holner to pick up. He throws it on the right boot. And Ryan Nyhouse, the ex-Fremantle Docker there. You want to watch a game of footy. Watch his first game for the Fremantle Dockers. He was sensational.
Kick 4, kick the winning goal. Goal with his first kick.
And now plays in the back line for Nightcliff, so it's hard to work that out. And Nightcliff go forward. They've got numbers back here. St Mary's, well done there by Matty Green.
Left been good, Green.
He's been sensational. Left his opposition player there, Butcher. And they try to clear this. The Green's followed up from his defensive 50 down the line. It's a 3-on-1. Robinson needed to take that because Nightcliff were going to win it, and he did. He's also started this game really well. That's not his best kick. Goes in the middle there. Klasky gets taken. That's holding the ball, and Nathan Brown there. Brown dog. He gives it to Philo. Why wouldn't? Yeah, feigns on the right, goes to the left. There's no difference between his left and right. Big Butcher from the back. It was full back.
You could see him setting himself for that. A beautiful kick by Brody Philo, and on his non-preferred, or he hasn't got a non-preferred side, to be honest. His left and his right are exactly the same. I once said that I was coaching Broads, and he's sitting next to me on the bench, and I said to the runner, go out and say to someone, get to their preferred side, stop using their non-preferred. And Philo said to me, Coach, what's a non-preferred? So beautiful kick by Brody Philo, and set that up beautifully for Johnny Butcher to take a beautiful mark, and that's his third.
I think Butcher was fourth back in that pack.
Yeah.
I think he had 3 players in front of him. So
well, he just
let's
shifts
have a look
the
here.
pack. If you have a look at it, I reckon he's crashed into the pack and actually moved it to suit himself.
I could barely see him, so watch this. 1,
there he comes.
2,
There's 3 players
4.
there, and just basically they all crumbled under him. A couple of them crumbled under him.
I mean, Holden's got a big body and he's a good backman. Matty Green's, fairly well sized, but they're just not the size of Butcher, and that was just pure height with a leap at the back there. So, ball back to the middle. Toa up against Bowen. Ball comes down there. Smithson in there, picked up by Jellyman Turner. He throws it on the boot. There's Rioli. He'll be looking to get in this game, work himself into this game as we go longer. He goes inside 50. That's a beautiful kick.
Shannon Rioli.
He's a class act.
We'll just call that kick a Rioli, because it's.
Yeah.
I've played with the Riolis and I've coached the Riolis, and there's not too many of them that can't kick. Actually, I can't think of one. They can't kick the footy. That was a beautiful kick, and silver service for Calder.
Yeah, Calder's eyes would be lighting up when Rioli gets it. And we said before, he doesn't need to touch it too many times, Rioli, and that's what he can do. So Calder lining up for his seconds. Looks like he's hit it well. Umpire didn't move too much. Gives a nod of approval.
How good is it to see a shootout with the old traditional lead up forward, take the mark, go back, kick it from 50 or 40 or thereabouts? So I actually love watching this sort of football.
It's just building. You can just feel the game is just sort of building and evenly matched sides. There's a lot of tradition and spirit when it comes to these two teams playing each other. And over the last couple of years, obviously playing in grand finals has further developed that. And you can see Calder at one end of the funnel and Butcher at the other. And it's a real arm wrestle at the moment as to which forward's going to kick the winning score.
And the other thing, Haley, they both know each other's game really well, because there are some real crossover players that have come both ways.
Yep.
So, it makes for a great contest.
It does.
Oh, down there to Klasky, almost got his head taken off. Didn't like that attention from Eilert. He's not going to get a reaction from Cam Eilert. He's got a great temperament. He goes out wide there. Mark taken there by Heppel. Good pressure on the kick, just affected it, overcooked it slightly. And the mark there taken by Bowles in the back pocket. So Bowles on that left foot. He's going to go long down the wing. North's come up there. Holner with the big fist over the top. And on the true centre wing position on the outer side will get another boundary throw in.
He didn't have a lot to kick to there. He just used the line for a bit of safety, a bit of insurance.
There's a bit of a breeze probably going to the right of screen with Nightcliff kicking with at the moment. Might be a 1 or 2 goal. It's just picked up in the last few minutes, which could be favouring that side of the field.
It's a beautiful sunset in the background of this oval at the moment. Lights on here at TIO Stadium in Marara. The two heavyweights of the competition of recent times going head-to-head. Nightcliff at the moment up by 1 point. Playing for a spot against the Waratahs next week. I don't think no matter who wins this, I think the Tars will start favourites in that with their two wins previously.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. And we'll see what sort of toll this takes on these two teams as well. And I know Waratahs do have a few niggling injuries. Ryan Ayres gets the extra week just to kind of settle on some of his stars and get that rest. So, it can only help them.
So Braxton Armat wins that. Goes down the line there. Picked up by Salmon. Stops, props, goes inboard. Picked up there by Harper. He throws it on the right boot forward. It's a 2-on-1 out there, St. Mary's. She's done well there, Emery. He picked it up at his shoelaces. Handball over the top to Danny Butcher. He's taken out by Braxton Armat with a beautiful hip and shoulder. Ball comes there to Long on that right boot. Tries to drill one down the line to Jellyman Turner. Jamie Jones was right with him.
It's good to see Braxton Armat get in the game, and I'm surprised that I don't know the inside story on why he doesn't play more Premier League, but I think a 6'3.5" local player, you just need to be picking him every week and give him the opportunity to play. So I'm not sure what if there is an issue or if he's able to train, or there could be something else, but certainly a good talent and needs to be developed.
So perhaps gives you another option for Big Butcher. If Butcher really goes nuts, he's an option to throw back there, is that big body. So just a little lull. Sorry, Colleen.
Yeah, no, and they do that. They do throw Braxton forward, and he's a handy forward. So Damien, what he says is actually a really good point, because I've seen Braxton play some ripper games this year. He plays with his heart on his sleeve, plays with a lot of emotion.
Yeah,
but that's what I want to see. I love that in a player.
Yeah, well, he's Saints through and through. The family's St. Mary's all the way. They are. So I'd just love to see him out there playing more. In key positions and getting game time, sort of similar to what Terry Danaher did at Essendon. Being able to throw him into the ruck or forward or back and make him a versatile tool.
Umpire's plucked one here. We're just going to watch on the replay what that was for. I
think Shannon Rioli got pushed out of the play in the back.
Okay, didn't look too much in it, but he's not going to miss from there. Umpire doesn't move a whisker either way. He puts it through, and that's a crucial free kick, 20 metres out in front of goal. So first goal as a result of a free kick. St. Mary's get their sixth, and they keep going. They're back in front, 5 points in front. We'll just have a second look at this.
I think he goes to contest and gets taken out.
That's soft.
There's not much in that, is there?
Well, look, I think that's a terrible call. There was nothing in it, Colleen. No one touched him. I think their feet might have locked, but
it's just one of those oh dear ones for me. I just went, oh dear. Where are we at?
We're talking about just this game, or
Haley, we're at the 12-minute mark of the second quarter.
Thanks for that.
Bit glass half empty up here at the moment.
Sorry about that.
Between you two blokes.
It's just one of those moments. Sometimes you just look at one of those things and you just go, oh dear. All right, fair enough.
Anyone should be feeling glass half empty. It probably should be me at the moment, but let's not go into that.
Yeah, that's right.
So boundary umpire's going to launch in. 12 minutes into this second quarter. Good handball there, quick handball there to Cook. He goes to Long. Kluski's there forward. Well pressured there by Nightcliff. Picked up again there by Kluski. He goes down. Wills wins it. Handball's there to Kluski. 3 touches in a minute. Yeah. Parides, beautiful little pop over the top to Long. And Long from 15 metres out drills one through, and that's 2 in a row to St. Mary's.
That was just persistence, wasn't it? The Saints forwards just locked that ball in and just kept flooding the areas, knocking it forward, keeping it going forward, and Jacob Long got on the end of it and kicked a good goal.
Yep.
Saints, we've got a little bit of a break here.
Geez, that momentum's just keeps swinging, doesn't it? Swing a couple of minutes Nightcliff, couple of minutes Saints. They keep dragging it back off each other. Just shows how even these sides are and how even their matchups are. And, you know, unless it's to do with a bit of fatigue, maybe we'll probably see that for 4 quarters.
Yeah, I think you're right, Cole. I just think that these two teams have had so many close games, and you expect no different tonight.
So ball back in the middle, one there by Smithson. Paredes has followed up, run forward, top one high, always gets his body low, so he's always a chance to get that free kick. He's going to look for Calder. Calder comes at him hard. It's a good kick. Ball over the back there. It's 2 versus 1. Brown thought he might have been held without the footy. Umpire Port agrees. So Salmon just gave one away. Then they could have locked that ball in their forward line. It's going to be a free kick to the veteran Brown. He goes down the middle with a risky kick. It bowls. First to recover. Handball to Philo. Oh, it's dispossessed there. Land from 40 on that beautiful left foot.
Just over finessing a little bit Nightcliff there, and especially when you're 25, 30 metres out from goal, get it on the boot. Maybe one of those extra handballs can be somebody coming in and putting a shepherd in rather than calling for the handball. So, you know, they don't want to stuff around with it too much in that area of the field, Cole.
No, not when you're playing St Mary's, because they will make you pay very quickly.
Beautiful kick down the middle, Philo to Butcher. That was like a bullet. He goes out wide to Edwards. Had the player over the top there. Could have used him, didn't. Instead went to the pocket. It was a well-weighted kick there. And the mark taken by Eilert, the champ. Probably the most decorated footballer on this ground.
He's done it all, Cam Eilert. Just keeps going. I don't know how he's signed another 2 years with the Tigers recently, him and Chris Bucks, the coach.
I know he didn't play the rep game though, Haley. He just thought, you know, it was time to perhaps stand back from that.
Yep.
Maybe giving the body a bit of a break too.
So Eilert on the pocket. Oh, he hit it well.
It's a third poster.
Third poster. They could come back crucial at the end. It was a beautiful kick. It's a tough kick from that pocket. Hits the post. And Jellyman Turner will bring it back in for St Mary's. So has a bounce, clears the area well, goes down the line. Robertson hits the pack hard. Ball spills there to Harper. He goes to Bowles, tries to get it back to Harper. McMurtry, handball over the top there to land. It's a 2-on-2 inside 50. Calder got a good jump at it. Keese was right in his back pocket. Ball over the top, look out. Oh, it was almost a hospital hand pass. He could have done some damage then. Ball comes there to Brown.
Oh, he's not.
Calder's still down.
Calder's still down. That's not good. Ball contested out on the wing there. It's a free kick to Nightcliff. There wasn't too much advantage there. Wills throws it on the boot forward. Danny Butcher and Dirkston are there. Comes out wide to McMurtry. McMurtry on his favoured left foot. He's got absolutely nothing to go to. It's all Tigers out there. So it's picked up there by North on his non-preferred right foot. Didn't hit it well, and it's like kick to kick. The man who kicked it to him, McMurtry.
Calder's in real trouble too. I think it's something around his hip or ribs area, but he's having a real hard time standing up.
So that's going to be a massive loss for St Mary's. We'll keep an eye on that one. Their gun spearhead. Geez, McMurtry's loving life at the moment. The ball just keeps popping onto his chest, and he's just racking up the stats down here.
Yeah, he's got some sort of cork. He's trying to run it out, trying to walk it out. Calder at the moment.
He does not look well. So ball comes there to North. Backing back in a little bit of traffic here. That's a risky kick. He's gone the fat side and it's come off. Now Nightcliff for away. Ball picked up there by Nyhouse. He has one bounce, has two bounces, runs to 50. It's an open square. Butcher's there. Well done there by Matty Green. Just got a fist on that. And through for one behind. So Nightcliff.
Calder's come off, Clint.
Yep.
He's not good at all.
Yeah, they'll want to probably not let that get too cool. But it seemed like some sort of cork around high in his thigh or in his hip area.
So the 17.5-minute mark, we've got Nightcliff Tigers 5-5-35, still trailing St Mary's 7-3-45, 10 points in it.
Ball there, crowd screen ball, nothing doing. Butterick drills one down the corridor. Just a boot on it by the St Mary's player. Fortuitously comes to McMurtry, picked up by Jellyman Turner. Now this is where Calder would usually be, so Salmon's going to playing the main target at the moment. That was well done. That was Calder-esque. He's taken the mark, and that's a beautiful kick inboard, and he hits up the young player Cook.
Yeah, once again, Jellyman Turner, influential there. A little bit of a fumble there. Awkward ball for McMurtry, but Jellyman Turner was right there, swooped on it, got it to a beautiful kick to the lead of Joseph Salmon at full pace. Two grabbed that one and wheeled and go, went very quickly and got it into Cook.
So Cook, it didn't hit it that well. Robinson put it back into play. Paredes, I thought he might have caught one high then. Umpire said he ducked the head. Pressure on there in the back pocket. Labastida goes in, picked up there by Nyhouse. He goes out wide there to Klusky. Klusky's got Gallus in support with him. Umpires plucked one there. Not sure if you guys saw what that was for.
I think
just a throw. Signal to throw. Yep. Incorrect disposal.
Just having a look at Calder down here, chaps. He looks like he's loosening up a little bit. I'd like to see him on the run though, but he's still down there looking like he's ready for an interchange, so plan is to bring him back on.
Yeah, well, if it is a corky, you probably don't really want to have him sitting down. Probably have to do 400s at half-time just to keep him moving.
I tell you where it is. It's right on his left knee. The problem, he's pointing to an area on the top of his left knee, so he's obviously taken a hit there.
So 10-point lead to St Mary's as we enter almost time on in this second quarter. So 20-minute quarters plus time on. One out of the contest there. Labastida goes to ground. Nyhouse, he's having a good quarter. Gives the handball back to Wills. Plays for the free kick. Umpire agrees. And he wins it on the outer side. So they'd want the next one here, Nightcliff, Colleen, just to stick with St Mary's. There's a 10-point margin, which is almost as much as it's been into the whole game. So they just wouldn't want them to St Mary's to get the next one. They go inside 50, and ball goes out in front of Matty Green.
Bit of lightning out over the Palmerston area there too. So, as I alluded to earlier, the forecast is for late storms, and we know that the rules, the protocols around lightning are very strict with the competition. So, as I said, you don't want to be behind at half-time.
Ball thrown in. A lot of players around this stoppage there. Nightcliff only got one player in their forward half, and that's Jamie Jones playing at full forward for him. So I wouldn't have thought he's seen a lot of forward time this year. They're obviously trying to clog this up. Sorry, he's playing back. Sorry, my bad.
Back. Yeah, he's on Salmon.
He's on Salmon down there. I thought that was a bit odd. Well, picked up there.
Do we need some Benny Hill music?
Where are you going, Clint?
Sorry, mate. Blew that one. Anyway, ball up on the 50. Players go up. Down to north. Wrapped up by Klusky. And we get another ball up.
Well, Saints would be happy to see the siren here and to take this lead to half-time.
Ball spills to ground. Emery lays a tackle. Umpire Noonan again says, I'll have it. Another ball up. St Mary's out of that contest. Comes out there to Cook. Right with him there is Edwards. Cook tries to go off the ground. Comes to Rioli. Got an important little foot in there just to put it out in front of Cook. He realised he had him. Cook goes on the right boot. Salmon comes up hard.
Lant.
Over the back there is Lant. Jamie Jones is back there. Gets a little handball back there to Brown.
Oh, very lucky.
Disguised it well there. Nathan Brown, the former captain, drought-breaking captain for the Tigers. Cook's got a little bit of leg speed, hasn't he? Doesn't he burn up the grass pretty quickly when he gets into some space?
I was just having a look I don't know a lot about him.
No,
really?
No, I don't know a lot about him either, but he's, certainly his leg speed was, elite that time.
Yeah, very good.
He looks fairly young, so I reckon he might have come up through the juniors. Ball to the ground there. Labastida doesn't get the free kick. A lot of players around this footy. Handball over the top to Brown. Comes to Jellyman Turner. Jellyman Turner on the right boot. Didn't hit the correct side of the football. Went straight up in the air. Through for one behind. So St Mary's extend their lead to 11 points. And the ball to be brought back in there by Bowles. It's going to go wide there to Wills. Never really favoured him, and popping in front there is McMurtry, who's had a much better second quarter. And not too much time left now. He goes short to Cook. Even if he took the mark, umpire was going to say play on. Wills throws on the boot out there in front of Moo. And right in front of the Nightcliff bench there on centre wing, we're going to get another ball in.
Yeah, a lot of rotations. Both sides are rotating heavily. It is a muggy night here in Darwin as usual, and pretty high quality game considering it's a little bit sweaty, no doubt, on the ball.
The ball there comes to Robinson. He spins, taken there by Bowles. Crowd screams ball. Comes there to Yarran. You've got Braxton Armat forward. He's going to go more central. Players fly. That was Lant there. Comes over the back. There's a big hip and shoulder there on Brown. Good footy. Rioli goes in. Umpire Port says, or two umpires say, I'll have it.
No, important here for Nightcliff just to hold. They don't want to concede a late goal here. They're 11 points down at the moment. There it is, the siren.
Yep. Okay, that's half time at the 21-22 NTFL Men's Premier League preliminary final, and we've got a slight lead to the St Mary's Football Club, 7-4-46 to Nightcliff 5-3-35. We'll see you back for the second half shortly.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Absolutely zero.
Zero.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be zero.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Domestic violence is everybody's business.
And it's not just the physical abuse, it's the things we don't see.
It is hurting our families. It is killing our families.
A lot of people have been silent to this fact, and I think it's about time we all speak up together and say no more to this form of abuse.
No more.
No more. No more family violence.
No more to the family violence.
No more. No more.
No more.
Listen up, kids. Make school your story. Help you succeed and rise to glory.
Safe to go to school.
So go the distance. 10 every day. Learn and listen. School holiday rockin', we love our break.
Time with friends and family is always right.
When it's time for school, don't get slack.
It's safe to go to school, can't wait to get back. So don't cut corners.
Do the full term. It's safe to go to school and it's time to learn. So don't cut corners. Do the full term. Make school your story and it's time to learn.
School returns February 2021. Written and authorised by the Northern Territory Government.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
At
Buzz, keep cool this summer with our new range of frappes, including cookies and cream, chai and matcha. You can also enjoy our totally scrumptious range of food and snacks. Australian owned and operated. Buzz, great coffee is just the beginning.
On Territory roads, anything can happen. So you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital, television production, energised.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal for all school-related activities. 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact CFS Gear for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Vaccinate. To protect our players.
To protect our coaches.
To protect our umpires.
To protect our supporters.
To protect our game.
Head to the Danila Dilba website for more information.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort. Love exploring the Territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
What an incredible game so far here on the main field at TIO Stadium. Half-time, Nightcliff 35, St Mary's in the lead on 46 points. Tickets are now on sale for the TIO NTFL Grand Final next weekend. Get your tickets pre-sale. Save yourself some time on the day. We are going to find out who is going to be in the 2021-2022 TIO NTFL Grand Final in this next half. Make sure you follow AFL Northern Territory and Northern Territory Football League on Facebook and Instagram to check out all of the action and keep up to date with all of the finals. If we could please clear the field, very soon we're going to get on the way with the second half of footy action. Nightcliff taking on St Mary's. We'll find out who will go through to the grand final for 2021 and 2022 here at TIO Stadium.
Welcome back to the second half of the Men's Premier League preliminary final between Nightcliff and St Mary's. And just quickly go through the goal kickers. For St Mary's, we've got Dylan Lant has one, Nicky Yaron one, two for Jackson Calder and Zachary Robinson with the single. And for Nightcliff, three for Johnny Butcher, one for Jackson Bowen, and Sean Wilson has one. Over to you, Firthy.
All right, so ball back in the middle. Third quarter, they call it the Premiership quarter. Big quarter of footy for both of these teams for this year. Ball comes there to Moo, keeps it in front of him. Paridi's going to be first back there, wrapped up by Emery straight away. Socket off the ground there by Dirkston. Spills back to Bowen. Bowen on his right boot around the corner. Just didn't hit it well, and dropping back there, Heppel. He's going to go wide to Yarans. There are a couple of guys they really need to get into this. A couple of really, really good footy players. Yaron drills one down the wing there to Long. Long. He goes long down the wing. Mackenzie is there.
Good news for St Mary's. Calder's back out there, so seems to be moving freely enough, which is good for them. Nightcliff just got to tighten up a little bit. You know, I just think that Saints have really at the moment are winning on the outside, and the Nightcliff players need to just get out of their comfort zone. There's a few of them I think are playing in second gear, and they need to go and find a few higher gears.
So Smithson round the corner, sends it inside 50. Almost a mark there taken by Robinson. Rioli's down there. He's the handball to Long. Long's playing a good game. Back there to Yaron. Moo comes from behind. Perhaps just got enough pressure on that. Ball bounces on its end. Klusky's there. And we'll get a boundary throw in 40 metres around from the St Mary's goal.
Yeah, Nicky Yaron is quiet tonight by his measure this year. He's had a ripper season, made the NT side. Gets plenty of it, but definitely quiet by his standards. Was the NT News Player of the Year with Ben Archard, I believe, from the Buffaloes. So, yeah, he has had a good year. Ball comes there to Land. Wills puts pressure on him. Umpire Morrison says throw it in. We'll go again. Was that a plug for the NT News then, was it? Or just, yeah, no, fair call.
Just thinking that with Bowen's dominance, you know, they should be probably doing a little bit better. I think the midfield of Nightcliff need to work a little bit harder and getting in the right spots for him.
So ball there out of the pack. Paridi spins out of trouble. Filo's right with him. Comes there to Yaron. Goes long down there to Calder. Keasty's right with him. Comes there to Jones. Jones handball over the top. Rioli picks up, spins on the right boot, round the corner. That's a great bit of play there by Shannon Rioli, and first blood of the third quarter to St Mary's.
Yeah, beautiful. Just through the core. If you look at the way Shannon Rioli traps this, and just got that little bit of a short wheelbase body, and just the shrug and the work of the hips, and just the power through the glutes and the hamstrings here from Shannon Rioli, and just able to hold his form there in the tackle. Difficult player to tackle in those circumstances, and he loves it too. The little curry you get around him.
He's sporting a little bit longer hair these days.
Bit of a mullet. He's young. He looks a bit unkempt at the moment, doesn't he?
He's got something's going on there. He's
got
looking
the
for a new look, and
So ball back in the middle. St Mary's with a game high margin now of 17 points. They go again inside 50. Klusky gets it wrapped up straight away. Umpire Noonan says, I'll have it. So Nightcliff need the next one here, guys, I reckon. They really need to wrestle back some momentum. As I said, a game high margin. It's been a contested start of footy to this third quarter. We'll have another ball up.
Excuse me.
So Bowen versus Toa. Down there to Smithson. Goes inside 50. Belted out of there, only as far as Lant. Lant goes around the corner, and playing in front there was Calder. Keast was with him, and he had a crack at that contest, but I just think the arms of Calder were too long.
I'm thinking if you have a look at this replay here, I think Dylan Lant was at the ball up, and he continued to follow the play and was able to get to the next contest. And I think if you have a look at some of the stoppages, Cole, during this game, St Mary's have definitely powered away from stoppages better than what Nightcliff have.
Yeah.
And the Nightcliff midfielders have sort of been caught a little bit on the back foot, so that ball's gone forward. And as it's been smacked, there's Lamb, and he was at the stoppage, so he's obviously powering away, and no one went with him.
Yeah, well, he was on. They looked a bit flat-footed, didn't they? We were just watching.
Yeah.
And he was reacting to the next, I guess, the next phase of play.
Yeah, and I think he's back in the middle of the ground now, so he's definitely on the ball, and he just put himself in a position. The ball was knocked forward by Daniel Bowles, and Lant was the one that powered to that position.
So ball back in the middle, Toa, Harper, Cook, Eilert. Umpire's plucked one. It's going to be a free kick there to Eilert. Cook on the mark. Gives the handball there to Butterick. Umpire said he didn't go behind the mark, so it's going to come back there to Eilert. And he's going to throw it on the boot. He's going to go long for Nightcliff's first entry inside 50 this quarter. St Mary's player there, Edwards, got a fair piece of it. Ball comes to ground there. Hacked forward by St Mary's. Toa's there. Gives the handball out to Jellyman Turner. Didn't hit the target. Nightcliff get it. Thrown on the boot forward. Picked up there by Heppel. He's wrapped up and tackled. Gives it to Gallus. And it was actually a throw. So well done there by Nightcliff. Umpires paid a throw here.
Yeah.
Who's it going to? Kyle Emery, is it?
Kyle Emery. So he'll have the shot from the pocket.
I'm not going to say anything about his accurate kicking, but it'd be fair to say that Nightcliff need this one desperately, and they just don't look as though they're up and about at the moment, the Tigers, so they need to generate some atmosphere out there and get themselves back into this footy game, because time's ticking away for them.
So Kyle Emery, it's a tough kick. He's going to kick from about 40 on a very, very tight angle. Hits it across the face. Players go up and rushed over the line for a boundary throw-in. So probably not the worst result. They can work around this and really lock this inside. Calder's pushed up. He's now pushing back to centre half forward.
Yeah, it's good play there from Jackson Calder. He's just keeping himself moving and making himself an option for the back line coming out.
So let's see if Nightcliff can get one from this stoppage here. Well done by Butcher, taking it out of the ruck. It wasn't a clean possession. He should have been pinged there for holding the ball. Umpire said play on. Comes to Heppel. Ball goes in the middle of the ground there. Bowles has been probably Nightcliff's best player along with North, I think. He's to gather, drills one out wide. He hits Eilert. Eilert tries to step around one. Gets wrapped up. Umpire says holding the ball. Crowd agrees, and it's going to be a free kick there to Yarran.
I'd made the comment about Nicky Yarran before, and he's had about 4 disposals since I said he needs to get in the game a bit more, and that was just to rip a tackle on one of the best players around.
That's the coach coming out in your goal. You just ask for a lift. And
come on, lift!
And a beautiful kick right on cue. He made Klusky work towards that ball. Klusky goes forward. Bowles is back there. Keast is right with Calder. He's going to be with him all day. Handball over the top there. Comes to Butterick. Good shepherd there by Brown. Buys him a bit of time. Shanks one forward. Yarran, handball over the top there. Nightcliff are going to win this, I think. Ball to Harper. He couldn't gather. And racing away from that stoppage is Klusky. He throws on the right boot to centre half forward. It's Jones versus Salmon. Calder comes up. Oh, Tom North in there to lend a hand. Feigns one wide. Handball to his teammate, put him under pressure, but the tackle wasn't stuck. Comes there to Wills. Wills goes to Danny Butcher, who goes round the corner. He sends one forward, but Kieran Parnell read that best off the boot.
Very clunky at the moment, Nightcliff going forward. There's sort of no real clean rhythm, and full credit to Saints. Saints are putting a lot of pressure on the ball carrier and attacking the ball hard when they have an opportunity.
So it's almost like Saints have got 2 or 3 extra players out there. That's how it feels. They're just getting the volume and numbers to the ball.
And that just comes down to work rate, doesn't it? You know, effort, enthusiasm to roll your sleeves up and have a go.
So Shannon Rioli just on the bench having a spell. Ball comes in the middle there. Taken by Joel Butterick. He's going to go forward. That wasn't 15. Anyway, umpire paid it. Comes to Harper. Harper with a beautiful kick out there to Butcher. And that's what they're doing in the first quarter when they look well. They were drilling it into Butcher one-on-one quickly. And he'll line up for his fourth.
Yeah, well, maybe I commented earlier around going long and strong to Butcher, and probably it hasn't worked as effectively as they'd like, and maybe now the instruction might be like to look for the lead and to put it out in front of the leading forwards and make the St Mary's defenders more accountable.
He's missed that off to the left.
So Butcher, I think he thought he might have kicked that. His reaction after that kick, it didn't. Umpire says through for one behind.
Haley, I think some of their delivery hasn't been quite right for Butcher too. It's coming in a bit flat at times. You want to put it up to him.
Yeah. Jellyman Turner's been good at running that ball out from the kick-ins too. I think that might be a deliberate ploy to get over the top of the Nightcliff zone, is by getting him to run his quota and then put in a nice 45, 50 metre kick on the end of that.
So umpire launches in. A lot of players around this stoppage. McMurtry's going to be first there. Gets shoved off the ball. Philo in there. Ball comes there to Harper. Harper's had a good third quarter. Throws it on the boot. And the mark there taken by Edwards. He goes to 60. Goes down there to Butcher. But well done there by St Mary's. They had players dropping off their players. And that's 50 against Butcher. Umpire said it was a late hit.
Yeah, I think he's right there. Umpire Noonan was right under his nose, and definitely a 50 metre penalty.
No one on the mark.
So Parnell doesn't waste any time. He sends it to a one-on-one Calder. Calder and Keast right there. First back there is Butterick. Handball's out in front of himself. He's going to have to go again here. Comes to Cook. Brown gets it to Harper. To Brown. Watch out from behind. Gets it on the boot. He goes down there in front of Klusky, I think it is, or... sorry, my bad, Robinson. And the ball goes out of bounds right in front of the Nightcliff bench.
Just going rebound in between the 50s at the moment. Whichever side can sort of tidy up their kick across the stripe at the moment would likely to be able to prevail. It's a tough game for forwards. The delivery hasn't been great.
So umpire ball's in. Smithson picks up. High ball to centre half forward. Nightcliff players there. Ball spills over the back there. That wasn't a handball. He never got his hand in that. Should have been pinged for a throw. Comes down to Lavastida. Lavastida out wide. Salmon from the pocket. Jones was right with him. Pressured him as he kicked it. Didn't hit the right side of the ball and out of bounds on the full in the forward pocket.
You think about it, Salmon hasn't been as lively as he's been in recent weeks. So, they've got this lead, but they've still got players out there that aren't really playing to what their normal capacity is.
Salmon's likely to get 5 or 6 quick touches.
Yeah.
That Cole's mentioned that.
Yeah, so we'll watch.
A couple of times Salmon's been on the lead and they've been a little bit too focused on kicking to Calder.
Yep.
And no one's in the back line for Nightcliff can go with Joey Salmon on pace, and there he is.
Oh, right on cue, Colleen. You stitch this up. There he goes into the square, and Salmon.
Who else do we need to lift a bit? I'll just name them.
I think you might need to run through the Nightcliff list.
Well,
starting at the top here of the Nightcliff side, Ryan Mood, Jonathan Paris, Jess Butterick. They all need a mention.
Well, if you have a look there, that was a lack of communication by the Nightcliff players. They both left the ball, and in came the Saints player, and straight into Salmon on his own. So, I think, Haley, what you're saying, they look a bit out of sorts. Those sort of things when you're not communicating well. You're losing your rhythm and getting the ball into the 50. They're kind of blazing away and hoping. There's no real system to what they're doing. And, the deficit now, 36 to 64, it's starting to get to that to that gap that you think, is there a way back?
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right, Cole. And when footy games are at that 20 points, you start to worry in Darwin. And when they get to 30 plus, very few sides come back from that.
So it goes without saying, they need the next one here. They're not going to win it out of the centre. It's going to be a free kick there to Yaron. He goes forward. Will's had his back to that contest. Done there by Smithson. Yaron's followed up. He goes inside 50. Robinson's found himself in a lot of space. Paredes is with him. Robinson lowers the eyes, looks him board. Well done there by Brown. He's first to it. Rioli's right with him. Good second effort there by Rioli. Calder couldn't get a clear possession there. Coming through hard was Klusky, but the umpires plucked one there for too high, I believe.
Yep, high coming through.
Well, when you're getting beaten to the footy, yeah, probably not there. But when you're getting beaten to the ball, these sort of ticky-touch-wood ones go against you. And Nightcliff have to start to try to get to the footy first. Nathan Brown's working his absolute backside off back down in the back half of Nightcliff. And unfortunately, he's got some of his teammates who are just jogging around. Like, how does Robinson get on his own over here on the boundary line? There was two St Mary's blokes in the forward 50. I'd ask the back line, when does it get urgent?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you just they're way too casual. Work rate's not up, and they just, you know, what can Bucksy do here to get them up and about, because they're just about queuing the rack here.
Well, maybe throw Johnny Butcher in on the ball.
Well, you got to do something, don't you?
Yeah, you have to. I think the premiership quarter's definitely going towards St Mary's at the moment, and Nightcliff need to stop this. So maybe it might be a chance to put John Butcher in on the agate for a bit. Stir things up and try to get some momentum back for the Tigers.
Even Trent Melwood's been very quiet. I haven't called him too much, and Jono Peris as well. I haven't called his name too many times tonight. So there's a couple of players there. Maybe Nyas could go forward and kick some goals. Perhaps that's an option, but needs to throw something. It's a game-high lead here of 34 points. It's now or never for Nightcliff. Their season's on the line. Ball comes there to Bowes. He's fought really hard. Paredes is in there, in and under. That's well done. Gets a foot to it. Over the back there. Jones is there. He picks up. Cook in there. Umpire's plucked one and says that'll be a free kick to Jones. So he goes out wide there to Eilert. Eilert's got to spark him as well. He's had a solid game without being sensational. Goes in board to Danny Butcher. Feigns on the outside. Goes on the inside. Goes long down the outer wing. Gallus. Ball spills through hands. Parnell's there. Comes to Heppel. Heppel's going to go long back down the line. Safety kick. However, back to Eilert. And he's going to send it into the Nightcliff's half of the ground. Hits up the leading Bailey Edwards there.
And this is where they're failing, aren't they? They get to this point, and they really do, you know, unsure of themselves, and they're just bombing it to the turnover zone. They can do that all night against Saints.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing there for them to kick to. There's no one working towards the ball and working their way back to the goal. They're just standing and hoping.
Yep, again, that forward entry inside 50. There was numbers for St Mary's. Yaron's got it. They're going to try and get him on the turnover here. Handballs to Lant. Lant's got a beautiful left foot. Goes long from 53. Across the face of goal. Through for one behind. I reckon Lant might pole all right in the Nichols guys. I think you said it earlier, Colleen.
Look, I think he will absolutely be right up there. He just doesn't play a bad game, and he's certainly my pick, along with Michael Bowden from Districts. I think he's going to be up there as well. He's had a remarkable season.
Yeah, I think so.
Cam Eilert's working very hard, but you know, you can when you're leading by 30 points. Or 35 points, you can let Cameron Eilert get it as many times as you like in the back 50, because that's not where he's going to hurt you. And unfortunately, some of the other midfielders have gone missing, and it's been left up to the champ to go and try to get that footy as well.
So he's been thrown on ball, picked up there by McMurtry on his non-preferred right foot out of bounds. Yeah, I think he will pick up a lot of votes. Colleen, agree on that. I think Magro and I think Brodie Carroll from Waratahs will poll heavily. Magro, obviously Waratahs through to the grand final. Magro wins their best and fairest. You would think he's going to poll pretty well. And my roughie would be Guthrie from Palmerston. I reckon he's a great...
he's absolutely
great player and stands out with that left foot.
The only trouble there is probably the number of games that they won. And that's...
Yep. So they go inside 50 there, but again, to no avail. Jellyman Turner hacks one off the ground. Parnell's there. Harper corrals him. Well done there by Jellyman Turner. Geez, he's a good player. He's a hard-running half-back. He hits up Labastida in the middle. Labastida gives the handball there to his St. Mary's teammate. Ball goes down towards 50. I thought that went out. It was quick handwork there by Salmon. Brown's there right with him. Salmon wins that contest. Jones goes to lend a hand. Handballs to Robinson. Rioli over the top. Coming over the top there was Keast. Ball comes to Rioli on the right boot. Oh, umpire says it across the face of goal, one behind.
Shannon Rioli's been exciting tonight, hasn't he? He's just been everywhere and having a crack at everything, and I just love watching him play.
Well, I think the byproduct of such of Lance and Paredes and these guys and Klusky playing well on the ball, you're allowed to leave Shannon Rioli in the forward 50. So probably Shan's not as fit as he would have been in the past. He has had injuries and he's getting a little bit older now, I suppose. But leaving him in the forward 50 all day is a real benefit, and for St Mary's.
So boy, there to Harper. We've ended time on in this third quarter. Nightcliff, if they're to have any hope in this game, they need the next goal and they need it this quarter. St Mary's have dominated this quarter. They're 11 goals, 6. So they've had a 4-goal quarter. Nightcliff yet to kick a goal this quarter.
We're well into time on now.
Well into time on, so the mark taken on the outer wing by Labastida. He's in no hurry to move it forward. Sends it inside 50. Even that's a one-on-one. There was no third man up there. Ball spills to the front. Around the corner, I reckon that's Klusky perhaps.
It is, yep.
He's kicked a ripper.
Was it Cook?
Cook.
Cook.
Little Cookie.
Cook.
He's been very good. Now, once again, like the effort of the St Mary's players, like it's stark contrast to how Nightcliff are going, and enthusiasm and effort. You don't need any skill for that, and certainly the Saints guys at the moment are just powering away from Nightcliff, and they've powered away from the stoppages all night. Now they're powering away on the scoreboard. Bless you.
Yeah, they don't look like the Nightcliff side we've seen in many games this year, do they? Look very flat, and it's really not gelling as well as we're used to.
Butcher's in on the ball.
Good call there, Coach Hale.
Coach Hale, he's onto it, doesn't miss a trick. Ball comes there to St Mary's. North, who started really well, has gone quiet. He goes on his right boot out wide. Butterick's there, well picked up. Handball to Moo. Moo, handball over the top. Handball didn't hit the target. Goes to Gallus. Gallus wrapped up in a heavy tackle there by Peris. And we're going to get a ball up 70 metres from Nightcliff's goal. Well, there's only 1-2 minutes left in this quarter. You'd like to think they could get another one here. Picked up there by Bowles. Bowles sends it inside 50, but dropping off. Must have been touched off the boot because he played on. Big Butcher's there first. Picks up, drops the ball. Wilson's there. Slap back there to Butterick. He goes out wide to Butcher. He's going to have fire here on the left foot. Doesn't. Brings it to the top of the square. Big leap there and fist. I'm not sure who that was.
Jellyman Turner.
Jellyman Turner, your man.
The rubber man.
The rubber man.
Doesn't he just have a go?
And that jumper never comes untucked.
And there was a bit of stuff around him last year, obviously, with the fly-in, and he will feel like it wasn't his fault, obviously, but he probably feels within himself that he's got to prove something, or he's got to make it up to the group and the players. And that's the way I've looked at the way he's attacked this season. He's been fantastic. He's a very good player. I just think he's a class player.
Yeah, and
he looks highly motivated, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been very solid in St Mary's last 2 outings, that's for sure. And
absolute. Sorry, guys, forgot the microphone. Very professional in the way he goes about his footy. I hear from a few people at St Mary's.
Yep. Yeah, no, he's highly rated amongst the playing group. I know that, as well as opposition teams rate him, and having him go out of the side last year at the finals time certainly didn't help Saints' cause.
Okay, so there's the siren to end the third quarter here at TIO Stadium, the preliminary final between Nightcliff and St Mary's. And what we have is St Mary's Football Club with a commanding lead, 12-6-78, and Nightcliff a 5-7-37. We'll be back shortly with the final quarter.
You know Territorians are a hardy bunch. Hats off to you. Whether you're new or you've been here forever, we know what the weather can throw at us. That's why TIO Home Insurance covers your home for cyclone, storm surge and flood. It's good to know. And with the only contact centre, claims team and assessors based in the Territory, we're here when you need us most. TIO, we're for Territorians. Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better, and I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro, or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge, or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the Territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians. Escape the everyday, any day. Book your stay today. At Mindle Beach Casino Resort.
AFL Northern Territory would like to remind spectators that congregating at the team huddles is not permitted during the breaks.
Welcome back to the final quarter of the preliminary final in the NTFL between the Nightcliff Tigers and the St Mary's Football Club. And very much a one-sided game at this stage, with St Mary's leading 12-6-78 to Nightcliff 5-7-37.
41 points at three-quarter time. This will be a monumental effort for Nightcliff to come back from this. I think that Saints have had all the running, and something's got to change.
So ball back in the middle. The first goal for St Mary's here will win this. Smithson out of the middle. They've won the clearances all night, and that's with a much bigger ruckman there from Nightcliff. So that's a concern for them. Philo, they're just going to go now. They've got to use that corridor, and it's now or never. There's no next week. Ball goes inside 50. Running over the back there is Paris. He can't gather. Coming through hard there was Moo. Paris goes in. Picked up there by Heppel. He goes out wide there. Mark taken by Jellyman Turner, who's almost been BOG. So is this bloke, Lant. He's run hard forward. Little soccer out there to space there. Puts it in front of Paredes. Wilson, who's been very, very quiet with him. He gives the handball there to Robinson. Robinson goes forward. And Calder, his arms are just too long. Keith didn't do too much wrong then, Haley, I don't think.
No, Calder's got to reach like a sick dog. That was unbelievable that time from Calder. He hung there, didn't he? His hands sort of like, it's sort of like, I don't know, he had Inspector Gadget type setup.
You rarely see him miss a mark, do you?
No.
He's so good with his hands.
He's come back from that injury, that knock in the second quarter, which, he's as hard as old boots anyway, Calder. And he should have finished. It would have been great if he had finished that after that bit of play for him.
I do think the reason why he's working so much up the ground is probably to stay warm as well. So he's had that sort of soft tissue injury. You've really got to stay warm out there. So
he's managed it well.
Yeah.
Eyelet down the middle. He has to do it. Picked up there by Heppel. And that is the second nail in Nightcliff's coffin. That's a great kick from Heppel, 40 out. He kicks his first. And it's almost game over here.
I'm calling it early. I think the Tigers are cooked.
They're just not here tonight. First quarter, they were certainly providing, I guess, a competition, and then I think they've just slowly slid away from there, and that they don't have good body language. It just doesn't look like they're up and about, and maybe the Saints are just bringing the pressure and just playing better football tonight, Haley. It's just as simple as that, getting numbers to the ball, and their work rate is definitely a lot better.
Oh, it is. It is extremely better. And there's Lant once again getting his hands on it in the middle, and they just seem to be, even in that contest there, the Saints player continued to follow the ball. Shawnee Wilson had sort of dropped off the contest, and that's what's happened across the field all night.
So they're going to just go down the corridor now, which could really open up this game, but that's what you've got to do in a sudden death prelim final. Gallus gets it. He goes out wide, and Jellyman Turner takes the mark.
Yeah, you might as well just throw caution to the wind now. You're better, if you're going to lose, you might end up losing by 70, but you're better off losing, having to go, than sitting back on your heels and still losing by 40.
They've really just got to attack now. You can't defend this.
It's almost the impossible task here. Umpire launches in. Haven't kicked a goal after half-time, Nightcliff, so they'd want to resurrect that. Philo throws it on the boot forward. Comes there to Bowles. Butcher picks up. Handballs to Bowles. He's on his favourite side for a left foot. There's always going to be a tough kick. He fired at goal. Good pressure there from St Mary's. He had a bounce on the full. And Holner won't get a lot of the footy, but he's an underrated defender. We'll bring it back in for St Mary's. Goes short there to Matty Green.
St Mary's back six have been fantastic tonight under all sorts of pressure early. They just stood up. The two-man, they've been stoic. And this guy, once again, has got it. Jellyman Turner, he's just been fantastic.
So Jellyman Turner sends it forward. The mark there taken by Brown. He goes to Philo. Philo bows. It's probably been their two best players. I think Big Butcher up forward, but there's not too many more shining lights on there, guys, that I can see that you would say, they've won their contest or they've performed well. Harper's been good at times. North's played a ripping first quarter, but, Eyelet's started this last quarter well, and he's you know, he's produced a solid game, but really no one that stood out. So North from this contest on his left boot. They're playing 1-3 behind the ball. Here's St Mary's. So Nightcliff are going to have to run it if they want to score. They can't just bomb it long. The ball goes out of bounds in the pocket out in front of Heppel, and we get another boundary throw in, which will be no problem for St Mary's.
Yeah, just the body language of the Tigers is not giving me a lot of confidence. I think that there's, St Mary's have just simply out-enthused them. The effort from the St Mary's mids to get the ball forward, and then the forwards capitalising on every opportunity. And the back six just being stoic in defence. You know, it's been just about the perfect finals game from the Saints Footy Club.
Goes up, Dirkston. St Mary's player tries to go off the ground. Umpire.
Yeah, the sliding in rule.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no, he's paid it the other way.
I'll leave you that one with you, Haley. You can dissect that. I don't know what that's paid for.
I'll just put it in my oh dear folder.
It was a kicking in danger rule, but probably didn't quite fit that criteria.
Wills sends it forward.
Just got the double team there on Butcher, and they've done that very well since quarter time. Saints guys just been able to zone off on the Butcher and put him into a 2v1.
Saints bring the ball out, and the mark taken there by Lance. Quite happily, he's going to send it long down the line there. Ball spills off hands there, goes out of bounds, and we'll get another boundary throw in. All this slow stop-start play suiting St Mary's.
Yeah, it's just chewing the clock up now, and the Saints are very good at maintaining possession. When they get hold of it, they won't be rushing anything now. Tigers have got it all in front of them.
So Saints with one behind the ball, which means Nightcliff will have an extra one at this stoppage, but they can't just win it and bomb it long. Umpire Noonan's plucked one here. It's going to be a Nightcliff free kick to Tom North.
Yeah, Nightcliff have to send somebody down to the spare.
North goes inside 50. Danny Butcher's there, works off his mare. That's Dirksen. Picks up, throws on the right boot, misfires off the wrong side of the boot. Bronze cheers from the crowd. Going to be a free kick to Holner in the back pocket.
Their night's been a misfire.
Yeah, well, Holner's the spare. Like he's a bigger body, and they've allowed him to become the spare. Tigers you can't have a bloke down there without an opponent. They'll need to man up on him.
Ball comes out of Eilert, spins out of trouble, did whatever two spins are there, 720, comes to Wills on the right boot, had a man over the top, didn't use him, fired at goal, and zoning off Big Butcher there, the mark taken by Matty Green, although Butcher's kicked 3, I think he's played quite well. They've used him offensively out of there. He's tried the run off Butcher, big fly there by Klusky. Comes to Lant over the back. Lant there to Smithson. He goes back to Klusky. Picked up there by Edwards. He handballs over the top there. Paris is there. Well won there by St Mary's.
The numbers. St Mary's players, they're everywhere.
Smithson back to Jellyman Turner.
They might have to have a head count. They might have 20.
I said that in the third quarter. Yeah. They've got a couple of extras out there.
Yeah.
So North goes long. Butcher cleared the pack, but it was well read there by Parnell. He tucks under the arm and says, I'm going to run. Bowles has had a great game. Can't keep up with him. That's hamstring material. They've almost seen a stop there. I thought that was a free kick or something. Gone back to Lavastida. Lavastida throws it on his right boot.
Yeah, I think the whiz Parnell just he ran out of options. He just kept bouncing and suddenly looked up and all the forwards had sort of led and hadn't been used, so had to go back to Lava.
All comes in there to Harper. Harper short. Mark there taken by Edwards. Edwards goes to Butterick. Butterick sends it inside 50. Ball spills at the ground to Philo. Philo picks up on his right boot, and 9 times out of 10, I would have thought he would kick that. Not tonight. Footy gods, in your words, Haley, aren't with them.
No, they're not with them.
When's the last time that Nightcliff would have only kicked 5 goals in a game? It would be a few seasons ago, I would think.
Probably when I coached.
Yeah. All right, let me have a look.
That was a nice lead in there, Cole. Thanks for that.
Yeah, you reckon it was then? Okay.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. No,
sorry.
I don't think we...
That was awkward.
Yeah. As my son would say, awkward.
Awkward.
Comes there to Butterick. Whistles going everywhere. Umpire says 50.
No, that's purely a case of umpire Noonan not being involved in about the last 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, so he's
just wanted to get himself in the stats for giving away for rewarding a 50. Well done, Noons.
Yep.
Well played.
So let's see if they can get on the board here, Nightcliff. Geez, there's 4 St Mary's players there. Paredes front and square. He's got the player zoning off for handball. Coming out of defence there, the mark taken by Smithson. Both teams with players with numbers behind the ball. So Smithson's going to take his time. He's going to go long down the line. So one-on-one there. Kick really didn't favour Lamb, but he did well. Got a fist in there. First recovery's wrapped up by Brown. Ball comes out of Cook. Lightning handball to Rioli. Rioli gives the dusty Marty. Comes to Yaron. He goes inboard. It's a one-on-one in the hot spot. Calder and Keese there. Ball spills out of Heppel. Okay. And Heppel from 10 metres out dribbles one through. That's his second. And that is game, set, match. It's going to be Tars, St Mary's next week in the GF.
Oh. That was Cook again. Like I think Cook was back on this area here around where Lance walking through. And look at Cook's gut running here, the 42. He just wills himself to the contest, straight lines the ball, body lines it, and it coughs out to Heppel. And I hope that his brother's watching that. Yeah. And we see a few from Tyson. Is it Tyson? What is it?
Dyson.
Dyson.
Yeah. Sorry, Dyson.
Big follower of the Bombers.
Yeah. I still talk about Terry Danaher and Vanderhaar, and we've got a few out. Timmy Watson's not playing.
I actually think the Bombers will be up and about this year.
No, well, that'll mean they'll have a shocker now, Cole, that you've said that. You brought Nicky Yaron into the game. I know that.
Yep.
So Nightcliff, winning a rare clearance, go quickly inside 50. It was a 2-on-2. Green spinning out of trouble. Handball there to Holner. He's Butterick's right there with him. Ball goes out.
Is Nightcliff missing any players tonight?
Well, only Liam Holtz-Fitz didn't. Right. He played in the reserve grade, and I think that was a disciplinary thing around not training. And other than that, they're pretty much at full strength. And probably Deary is the other one that's out. But no excuses. Once you pick a 22 for a final, you're all fit, you're all ready to go. And St Mary's have totally outplayed them, out-enthused them, and more effort. It just came down to effort. And I think it's been those St Mary's senior guys. This bloke who's got the footy at the moment, the captain, Paredes, Lant. They've just done everything well. And Shannon Rioli, the 200-game veteran, has just been fantastic as well. When the ball's gone forward, he's just been very strong.
I think we come to expect, we always take for granted what Paredes does every week. He's consistently putting in good game after good game, and he could well be making a speech tomorrow night. He's had a solid season, and good luck to him, because I think, perhaps his performances go underrated sometimes because he just does it week in, week out. Ball there comes to Big Butcher. Green with him. Green gives the handball to Parnell. He's going to make Big Butcher work. Oh, he might have got one in the guts there by Big Butcher. Anyway.
I think the big fella thought, well, if I'm going to chase 40 metres, I'm going to at least clobber him.
Got one in the guts.
Ball comes there to Land from 50. Goes in there.
Jackson.
It's got to be a free
Corner
kick.
and Nyhouse.
Yeah, it's just been one-way traffic, hasn't it, after quarter time, and Nightcliff will be bitterly disappointed by this result. But take nothing away from St Mary's; they've been fantastic. And the last 3 years, the Tigers have certainly breathed some life back into this competition, and we'd all got used to Wanderers and Saints, and then Nightcliff have come from nowhere, and Frank Grabats is a big part of that, who passed away a couple of weeks ago, old Frankie, and he was one of the real drivers in the Nightcliff Footy Club to get them up to where they have been for the last couple of years, and they can be very proud of that. And I don't think one loss in a final defines Nightcliff Footy Club. They'll come back hard.
Definitely not.
They haven't played well tonight. They'll have to own that, and there's been plenty of guys that have had their colours lowered, but I know that there's been a lot of hard work done there by Chris Bucks and Cameron Islet and Frank Grabats, the late legend of the footy club, and I know that they'll be hurting a little bit with this, but they will come back.
Oh, look, they've certainly been the benchmark for a while, haven't they? And
they've set a great standard. They've set a great standard of professionalism. Their women's teams in the grand final. Their Div 1, their 18s are in the grand final. So you know, they've got plenty to be proud of, but tonight they've been beaten by a better side, and full credit to Saints. I just think that their enthusiasm, their effort, their second efforts, their willingness to work for one another has been absolutely elite.
Yeah.
So just going through the women's score in the game before this one, it was Nightcliff 6 goals 440, defeated the Waratahs 5 goals 838 in a ripping game of footy as Nightcliff go inside 50. Geez, they're going left the goals a lot, and a lot of shots at goal going on that left-hand side, and they still haven't kicked a goal in this second half. So just getting back to that women's game, Nightcliff 6 goals 440, defeated Waratahs 5 goals 838 in a ripper.
Yep.
So it'll be Nightcliff and the Buffettes in the GF next week.
It's good to see Nightcliff in the grand final. It's good for the team and the club, and they'll come up against a pretty good Buffalo side, and I'll call it now. I think Dom Carbone might be in from the VFLW, having a standout season. I think she'll be back playing for the Buffaloes, but time will tell, and she'll be a massive inclusion if that's the case. But anyway, we'll see what happens, hey?
Be a big weekend of footy, and it's a shame the Tiwi Islands grand final not on. The Bulls in there in the St Mary's, so their TIFL season was held back due to COVID, so they're not going to, unfortunately, be able to play their grand final, which is a shame for them because that's...
But if you're listening and you want to go, it'll be in May. I think they're going to play a full round of football now on the islands. Everyone's going to play each other again.
Oh.
And that just about sums up. That sums up Nightcliff's night. The champ, Cameron Island, has absolutely worked his backside off for the team tonight, and that was a bit cruel.
Yeah.
That ball just bounced up onto his foot and went out on the full, so that just about sums up where the Tigers are at. So, yeah, it'll be May sometime, the final for the Tiwi Islands grand final, so plenty of time for people to book to come up to the territory and experience that.
The ball there, Wilson has been very quiet. Would have liked to seen him throw an on ball perhaps that third quarter. That's a sling tackle if ever I've seen one. No, umpire says, hope he hasn't hurt himself, because he could be in a bit of trouble with that if he has hurt himself.
Shoulder is out.
That's Klasky, one of their guns, I hope. Anyway, ball goes inside 50.
It didn't look good, did it?
No, Mark. That was that dangerous tackle. They'd keep an eye on them, so I didn't see it, so ball comes there to North. He goes on the left foot, goes out wide. In front of Keast. Lance right with him. Lance dispossesses him. Umpire has paid one there, and it's going to be a free kick to St Mary's. Always going to go around then, Land. He's a left footer. You could see it from here. From 48, goes long across the face of goal.
He's missed a few tonight, Land.
Well, you look at St Mary's possible grand final side. If you've still got Ryan Smith, depending on how bad his injury is, so he's likely to probably come in if fit. You'd think Smith will play. And obviously Sean Edwards, and depending on Sean Edwards is just a class above at times, and some of the stuff that he does, and he gives the versatile tools, or he can play that versatile role, whether it's down back, in the midfield, or forward. So it's good headaches to have for Anthony Villaggio and the coaching group and the selectors. They've certainly got a couple of players that could actually come in and make this side even better, but full credit to the 22 guys that will put a Saints jumper on tonight. They've just been irrepressible.
Yep. And you imagine if those two are fit, Haley, they'll come in. I can't, for a grand final, they've both got enormous experience. They've played these pressure games.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of unlucky players, but that's what happens around this time of year. You probably need 26 or 7 to win it, or 30 players to win it. And unfortunately, the byproduct of depth is people miss out. So, but as a club, they can be very proud to be in another grand final, and I think they'd be desperate to win one.
Yeah, we're in for a ripper game, I think, between Saints and Waratahs. There won't be much between them. How much does this game take out of them? Probably not a lot. Hasn't been...
we'll probably have to get some elastic for Joey Salmon.
Salmon needs some elastic for his shorts before next week.
He says, I don't care, I'm running to 60. Goes inside 50. Beautiful little kick out in front of 2 players there. Edwards is there. A little tap over the top to Paredes. Can't gather. in front of the Middle Beach sign there, who are our sponsors for this broadcast. We'll get a boundary throw in.
Just shows how hard it is to win premierships, and for Nightcliff to win 3 in a row is an outstanding effort. To go for 4 was just a bridge too far for them tonight. But as I said, full credit to them. It will be a great game next week. I think Waratahs have been underrated this year, and I've been very impressed with their defensive structure. So it'll probably be a game fought. The defensive structure of the Waratahs team versus the pace and the fluid ball movement, the skills of the St Mary's side. So it'll be 2 contrasting teams, which I think will just be fantastic.
I think the difference with the Waratahs team this year, over the last few years, the players are staying now, so they're not kind of relying on having to fly players in. These guys live here now. They've developed relationships. They've got good connections with each other. And as you know, Hayley, being a seasoned coach, once you can get that with your players, it transfers to the field, doesn't it? And,
absolutely it does. And I hated the fly-in situation, but it was one of those you had to do it because everyone was doing it.
Yep.
What would be a really big test, and I know we're pushing towards an AFL side, and that's great, but a really big test of where this competition's at is if we played it in the dry season.
Yep.
Because I think we live in a bit of a fool's paradise about this, because there's so many players at clubs that come up here and play, and I really don't know what the standard would be if we played against the southern competitions at the same time. That would test how good this competition actually was.
Yeah.
Saints just working the clock down. They know they've got this one.
Matty Green. Handball there to Long. Long's picked up a bit of form in this game, so he's been quiet, like I said, but
he's been good.
Good for him to get some form heading into the GF next week. Out wide to Parnell. Noonan says play on. Parnell's been good as well. Back to Long.
It's when you win like this in a final, it's hard to find someone who hasn't contributed. And Saints have just had winners across the ground, and for Nightcliff, unfortunately, they've just had too few contributors. Not enough people doing the heavy lifting, Cole.
They've done their job. You'll see some of even the St Mary's players have come in and out of the game, but they've done their job.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
What you want.
Yeah, this bloke has just been a 4-quarter performer.
Yeah, I think the Tars will be looking closely at Klasky, Lant and Jellyman Turner. If you can shut those 3 down, I think they're pivotal in St Mary's premiership aspirations as the final siren goes.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much summed it up in the last couple of minutes. Well done, St Mary's Football Club. Great display here tonight, though. It's going to be a ripper grand final next week, chaps. I'm sure you're both looking forward to it. I am. And so it's a convincing win in the preliminary final by the St Mary's Football Club, 15-8-98 to Nightcliff, 5-10-40. They now leave and go and have some celebratory drinks and think about the season and probably start thinking about next year, knowing Chris Buck. So well done to St Mary's, and we look forward to the Waratahs versus St Mary's in the 2001-22 grand final.
What a prelim final.